Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello, welcome back to How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. I hope you'll enjoy this one. It's going to be a summer scene with summer trees with a river running through it, and I think we'll put some bluebells in this as well. I've stretched the paper. This is a £140 watercolour paper from Winsor & Newton, and it's a knot surface. I'll give you a quick rundown of mainly the colours I'm going to be using today, which will be cobalt blue, cadmium yellow with a touch of cobalt blue in it, cobalt blue, cadmium yellow with some burnt sienna in it, or burnt umber if you have that, burnt sienna and French ultramarine, cobalt blue and permanent rose for the bluebells. And with that, I think we'll get started. So I want a reasonably summery sky, so I'm just going to take some cobalt blue and I'm just going to drop it in. And I'm leaving white patches just for the clouds. I just want to dry off the river a bit, just with a kitchen towel, and I want to add in some cadmium yellow and cobalt blue. Just makes it very, very pale green. Take that out there, I think. Put some bluebells there. What I'm going to do is just take some of this cobalt blue permanent rose, just stroke a little in. It just positions where the bluebells are going to be. If it mixes with the yellow, it doesn't matter. Just add a little bit of colour into this tree here. Nothing difficult there. You're going to let that dry. I just want to take a little of this colour now. The picture is dry. When I say dry, it's still damp, the paper is still stretched. I may have forgot to add actually that I've just added some masking fluid to certain areas. I'm just bringing this over here, and I just want to darken it with a touch of French ultramarine. I'm going to take my mop brush, just want to break it open, add some to the tips, and then I want to bring some on this onto these background trees here in the canopies. A little over here as well, there's a big bushy tree here. As I said before, sometimes doing a watercolour can be a bit like layering a cake. Just drop a little bit more in, break it open again. And on the outer edge of these trees that are running near the stream, I'm just dropping it on the outer edge. I think there's 3 bushes in here. And we'll separate them with a little bit of dark after. I've added some extra permanent rose to the bluebell mixture just to make it a slightly more purpley colour, so that the blue underneath will also show through. I want to drop this in. Just undulate it, just to create some uneven ground. Touch it gently on. I'll have some of the underwash to show through. Cadmium yellow, cobalt blue with some burnt sienna added to it, or burnt umber if you haven't got burnt sienna. It doesn't really matter. I want to take some of this on the tips of the brush. Even though it's still wet, we can add some darker shading to this tree. With it still being damp, it will run together nicely. Bring a little bit up the bank. Turning the brush flat, and I'm just adding this to the green areas where the field and the grass are. It's intermingled with the bluebells. Now that that's dry, I just want to mix up a darker green colour. So I'm going to take some of that, add some ultramarine to it, and then we can send it down with some burnt sienna. And I'm just going to use this just to drop in some dark patches under here, just to add a little bit more depth to this foliage in the trees. Just taking a little bit of a damp brush and softening. I can start to separate some of these bushes out here. Just helping to define the edge of this tree as well, which we'll be painting in later. We're just softening little bits of it down as we move through it. Just softening the bottom in. Just creating a shoreline along the back there. I want to take a rigger brush, just pull some tree trunks and stuff into the canopy, and whilst it's still damp it will just mix in nicely. And I'm holding the brush basically on its side, so I'm using the tip and the side of the brush to get a raggedy edge. Well, you can make that out. You see how I'm doing that? I've just added some burnt sienna to the bluebell mixture just to make a dark colour, just for a different variation in here. So everything isn't the same colour and it just adds more and more to your painting. Wiggle the brush as you pull the branches out. I've just removed the masking fluid from the trees, now you get to see them, and I'm just going to run some water up these tree trunks. I'm going to take some of the bluey mixture, purpley violet from the bluebells. I just want to drop some of that in. I might even just take some cobalt blue, just drop that in places. We'll turn these into birch trees. Re-wet this oak tree with some water. Take some of the original green colour, cadmium yellow, cobalt blue. I think we'll just run that on. And I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to add a little bit more into that, just making a couple of colours of green, different shades. I do want to keep some light patches and some dark patches. Ultramarine and burnt umber, and I just want to take some of that, just begin to bring it into these trees. And I'm just flicking it across with the tip and the edge of the brush, just to create that bark that you get on them. Then I want to take my mop brush, break it open, take some of this greeny yellow or yellowish green. We can begin to drop some of this into these. It's just the tip of the brush that I'm using. I'm going to leave that to dry. Now the first lot of paint is dry. I'm just taking some cadmium yellow, my French ultramarine, and I'm going to add a hint of burnt sienna in just to flatten it down slightly. Just taking the mop brush once again. I'm still leaving some of the other colour to show through. I'm going to add some darker patches of the foliage to it. I'm going to take some of this murky colour. I want to add some bark to this tree. It's a really dark green colour now, so I'm going to take this down with some more French ultramarine. I'm just taking this from the palette, but it's quite a garish colour that, so once again I'm going to use some of the burnt sienna just to take the glare out of it. Once again just washing the mop brush, drying it, breaking it open. Take the rigger brush and then we can just add some branches in. Just adding structure to it all. So I'm just going to re-wet the river area. I'll take some yellow and just add it into the back. Some of the green. All horizontal strokes. Some of the cobalt blue of the sky. Some of the really dark green. And I'm just going to lift a little light spot on. And we're going to let that dry. Take a little bit of colour. Giving the shadows into a reflection. Just a touch of cobalt blue. Green and burnt umber. Just drop that in. Just a reflection of some of these bushes and trees. Pull some tree trunks through it. Could have a couple of birds in the sky. And then we're just going to let that water dry off. Now that it's all nice and dry, I'm just going to put some wind streaks in. I've just put a couple in there in the back, but I'll just show you what I did. Just took a craft knife, and these are usually best to put in the darker areas. Make sure you get them straight. Just adds a little movement and sparkle back into the water. We can just add a few blades of darker grass. And this is where you get around to sign it, mount it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this one with the bluebells in. Please feel free to leave a comment. Once again, until next time, thank you very much for watching.